A few days ago, Amartya did a video where he talked about the best phones to buy at every price point. Now, a lot of these phones were from Chinese brands given how good value they generally offer, but given current circumstances, you guys understandably wanted non-Chinese alternatives at each price point. And yes, I generally do read your comments, so I decided to put together this video. Phone recommendations for each segment that are from brands that are in Chinese. Hey guys, Ash here from C4eTech, and if you do end up finding this video informative, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's now get started. Now there are quite a few interesting options from Nokia as well as Motorola. Unfortunately though, Motorola is owned by Lenovo, which is Chinese. As for Nokia, they are owned by HMD Global, which is not Chinese, it is a Finnish company. But in the past, they've been caught sending data to China, and all Nokia phones are also made in China. So we've kind of played it safe here and decided not to include either brand in this list. Anyway, let's kick things off with a super budget range. At around 5,000 rupees, we have the Samsung M01 Core. Now, this isn't strictly an Android phone since it is running on Android Go, not full-fledged Android, but it still does most things that we can expect from a smartphone. It has decent app support, so I suppose it does get to be part of this list. Up front, we have a 5.3-inch screen, HD plus resolution. There are pretty big bezels all around. As far as the optics go, we've got a 5-megapixel camera to the front, 8-megapixel camera to the back. Internally, there's a quad-core processor powering it. There's 1 gig of RAM, yes, 1 gig, 16 gigs of onboard storage. Now, the most interesting thing here is that we have a removable 3000 mAh battery. Now, how long has it been since we've actually seen removable batteries? So yeah, now skipping ahead to the under 10K segment, we get the Galaxy M10s. It's got a larger screen, 6.4 inches. The resolution is still HD+, it's AMOLED. As for the internals, we've got the Exynos 788 4B along with 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of onboard storage. The cameras aren't anything to write home about, but we get a 5-megapixel depth sensor along with a 13-megapixel primary sensor. As for selfies, there's an 8-megapixel camera. The biggest upgrade here comes not with the hardware, but with the software. We get the full-fledged Android experience along with One UI. All that for just 9999. Slipping in at just 1 rupee short of the 14,000 rupee price point, we've got the Galaxy M21. It has Samsung's signature 6.4-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED panel, along with an Exynos 9611 chip, 4 or 6 gigs of RAM coupled with 64 or 128 gigs of onboard storage. We get a triple camera setup to the back, 48, 8 and 5 megapixel sensors. There's a 20 megapixel selfie camera. Also, since this is the M series, we've got a 6000 mAh battery on board. Now, we generally only include new devices in our lists, but there are some pretty great offers on the renewed Zenfone Max Pro series on Amazon. So if you don't mind buying renewed products, they could be worth checking out at the under 15,000 rupee price bracket. Moving straight into the under 20k segment, we have the Galaxy M31s. It comes with a 6.5-inch AMOLED Infinity O panel. Yes, we have a punch hole this time around, and it holds a 32 megapixel selfie camera. The processor though, it's unfortunately the same Exynos 9611, so even though we've gone up a price segment, there is no major performance improvement that we're going to be seeing. The battery capacity also remains the same, not that that is particularly a negative since it is 6000 mAh. There is faster charging support though, 25 watts. As for the optics, we get a 64 megapixel primary, 12 megapixel ultra wide, 5 megapixel macro and a 5 megapixel depth sensor. Now the 25k segment is kind of confusing since we have something new like the Galaxy A70s going up against an older flagship like the LG V30 Plus. Now if you're someone who doesn't care much for the optics or software updates, then I'd say go ahead, get the LG because we still get a Snapdragon 835 in here, a 6-inch QHD OLED panel that should still look absolutely amazing. But the more modern A70s does have it beat in a few areas, like it's got an under-display fingerprint scanner, it's got a larger, higher capacity battery, and of course better cameras. So honestly, this is a toss-up. I'd leave it to you guys, but if it were me, I'd pick up the A70s since it's a better all-round device, and I I've never particularly preferred LG's UI. Next, we get to the under 30k segment or the around 30k segment, and here's where things start to get interesting. The phone to buy in this price bracket would be the Google Pixel 3a, but with the 4a being just around the corner, I can't recommend buying the last gen Pixel. And then there's the Asus 6Z, last generation's flagship phone that I think would make for an awesome buy in the around 30k segment, but unfortunately, it's out of stock most of the time on most popular e-commerce vendors. So at the time of filming this video, it is not an option that I can suggest. My best advice for someone looking to buy a phone in this segment: sit tight, keep your eyes peeled, maybe look for a sale, or better yet, wait a little bit for a verdict on the Pixel 4a. And if you're a fan of iOS, the iPhone 7 is available at this price point, but honestly, that phone is 4 years old now, near the end of its life cycle, even for an Apple phone. I wouldn't really suggest buying it, but hey, at the end of the day, it's your money and it's your choice. Which then leads us to the under 40k segment, and here we have the Galaxy Note 10 Lite, the perfect phone for anyone who'd like to get in on the Note experience, but don't want to spend a ton of money on it. Yes, the construction is plastic and the Exynos 9810 might not provide the snappy experience we expect from a 40k phone, but there is the S Pen, a 6.7-inch AMOLED panel from Samsung, and the optics are pretty well rounded too. Now, if you're looking for a bit more power, then the S10 Lite might be the phone for you. Starting at 43,000 rupees, we get the Snapdragon 855, one of the only high-end Samsung phones to sport a flagship Snapdragon chip in India. We also have a pretty unique camera system that focuses a lot on videography and low light captures thanks to the Super Steady OIS on board. And up front, we have yet another gorgeous 6.7-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED panel. Now, if you're someone who'd prefer iOS over Android, then the iPhone SE 2020 does make a pretty nice case for itself in this price segment. As for the reasons why, I'm not going to waste your time going into the details since we explained all that in our previous video. And in case you've not watched that, here's a card to it. Our choices for the under 50k and top flagships, they remain the same. We have the ROG Phone 3 at the 50k price point. The iPhone 11 Pro Max and the Note 20 Ultra take the top spot for the best phones money can buy right now. And with that, we get to the end of our list and the video as well. I know some of you guys might think these choices may feel like they're not the best value for money, and I honestly agree with you. But hey, if you're gonna have to stay away from Chinese products, this is gonna be a trade-off that you're gonna have to be willing to make. So would you make that trade-off? Let me know if yes or no in the comments below. And if there is any other phone in this segment, in any of these segments that you feel would be a better fit, leave a comment down below. And with that, we get to the end of this video. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about it. Subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.